men who purposely go after younger women because they're less jaded, they have less experience, and they're easier to like mold to be the perfect woman for you, y'all are groomers. This is predatory behavior. And if you were a catch, women your own age would want you. But no, you have to dig in the daycare to find somebody who would tolerate being with your ass. And also, there is no reason why there should be a fucking 10, 15, 20-year age gap when you're with somebody who is between the ages of 18 and 25. There is no conceivable reason why you guys should be together, aside from the fact that you pick somebody fresh out of legalhood, or whatever term I've been using during these rants, because you wanted to be with somebody who did not have experience, who could not recognize your red flags, who will then grow up, recognize that their whole situation with you was fucked up, have some trauma to deal with, and then be one of those jaded people that the old folks is complaining about. That's that.
Bitter. This is
That
the
what that
perfect
is?
topic for me. This is the
So-
perfect topic for me. My boyfriend is 22 years older than me. So
Speaking
perfect
pink
topic.
pill.
I don't feel like he manipulates me. As a matter of fact, he didn't even know how old I was when we first met. We met at a sneaker ball. And he's a high value man. And the woman that he dated before me was in her 40s. The difference between me and her is, like Mr. Solomon was saying earlier, selfish, entitled to his money, lazy, thinks she doesn't have to do anything. And I'm the complete opposite of that. It's all about how I make him feel. It's not about him being predatory on my age. And I was more attracted to him than he was to me, because I just like older men. Like, they're more, I like the maturity. I like the way they treat me. He has good character. He's already been in the streets, and he's like played the field already. Like, we good. He's solid, you know? So it's just my thoughts.
Okay. Well, I want to get Raquel in here. What you got, Miss Rose? What you got?
I don't think that women that date older men are being, they're not being preyed upon. I think that since the dawn of time, young women have wanted to date older men because they're more established, they're more mature, they can offer more security. Their maturity just alone in itself is a secure feeling. The fact that someone is mature and can be thoughtful and well thought out and plan things and be strategic. I mean, that is what you would seek in with an older gentleman. You don't have to question those things. You know that you're safe, you're guarded. I'm pretty sure Pink Pill, yeah, she's not worried about anything. And that's why you date an older gentleman. So I disagree with it. I think it's
So we're saying that Drea is not a predator. So we're saying Drea is not a predator either.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard, and it is what it is. Either you take it or you.
So in that case,
definitely a double standard. I do look at her as a predator. I do look at her.
So
yeah,
I look at her as a predator.
Between.
I look at her as a predator, and I look at him as a predator. It just is what it is. I'm not going to do a double standard. It's not going to work for me.
Women have double standards too. It's acceptable for a woman to be a stay-at-home wife, but if a man is a stay-at-home husband, he's considered a bum or a nut, right?
No, I don't consider a man a bum.
Not you. Well, you don't, but society, majority of the people do. So
I'm just saying, for me, that's predatory behavior. For a woman that old to deal with a young man, and for a man that old to deal with a young woman, it's predatory behavior.
You think most older women see that as predatory? Because this goes back to like when people say younger women are competition for older women as far as dating and men.
There you go.
Because we compete for the same man. He in his 50s and he around the same age as you. I'm pretty sure you love to have him.
Let me thought about
this. These are hyenas talking out both corners of their mouth. Because a 22-year-old female don't want to date a 22-year-old man because he ain't making 100K. So how old is the average man making 100K and up has to be? So of course she has to date up. She won't date men her age, because men her age can't do nothing for her. Men her age are not providers, because the 24-year-old who just graduated can't pay for a home and a car insurance and all the bills. So of course she's dating up. So
if a woman that's 40 years old dates a 20-year-old woman and she's a predator, a man who dates a girl who is 20 and he is 40 is a predator too.
It's a
That's
double
crazy.
standard. We're gonna have to agree to
We're
disagree.
not
It is
gonna
what
call
it
her a
is.
predator. We're not gonna call her a
Is he a
predator and
predator
not
if
him a
that
predator.
okay? If that
May I
woman
say
won't date
something?
women her age, is he a predator? If I'm a 24-year-old woman looking for a provider male that makes 100K, how many 24-year-old men you know make 100K? They don't want to build with these.
None.
They don't want to shoot in the gym with these men. They don't want to be in the trenches with this man. So how am I going to be a 24-year-old man trying to date a woman that's asking me to make 100K? What kind of job does a 24-year-old man have to make 100K?
Can I just say, just in case my man sees this, I didn't date him. Okay, look, I didn't know he was a high value man until like a month later. So I wasn't going just for his money. I was looking at him for him. But just a disclaimer, just in case he ever watches this video. Okay, I'm
And
sorry.
may
Go
I
ahead.
say
But
something
HQ,
about
answer the
All right,
question.
real quick. We'll get you in, Rose. And let Mr. Walker get in here first, and we'll get Miss Rose in.
I wanted to say just as far as the difference being between older men, younger women, vice versa. Older, I got a theory, and I say when done correctly, an older man gets with a younger woman. Let's say this brother 40, and the girl, the woman is in her early 20s, early before 25, and they get together. They do it right. They get married. He does his role correctly. Like I said, you got to give context. He takes her on under his wing. He teaches her. He educates her. He guides her. He mentors her. This is what we talk about. He the queen. You stop. We ain't talking about bums. We talking about real resourceful men.
So
doing
what's
this.
the difference between
No, hey, no, stop. No,
and
stop. No,
young
don't
man?
cut. Don't cut. See, that's why. Don't cut.
What's
I'm
the
telling you.
difference?
She can learn. She can learn so much from this man. He can teach her everything. And there's icing on the cake for y'all women. So here we go. He 40. All right. She 20. He teaching her. She on the insurance. She on the D. She on everything. This is happening in real time. She's reaping the benefits of being a wife to a resourceful older man. This ninja liable to die before he hits 70. All right. What's she gonna be? 40? She get a whole nother life. A whole nother life. She can go on and live a hot girl summer, and she's already been married and already got the king's gold.
So what's the
How
difference
can
between
you,
him and Drea?
how can you argue
What's the
with
difference?
that perspective?
What's the difference?
I'll
With
tell the
him and Drea?
difference. I'll tell the difference. The difference between Drea and niggas like people like Bernice Burgo and all of them, they're in a certain club where these NBA players and stuff frictionate. These people talk amongst each other about these women. The difference between Drea and Michelle is she has 3 baby fathers, one in the NBA, one in the NFL. And I think the other one now is Jalen Green. She knows Jalen Green ain't got no common sense. He only been in the league for 2 years. She's a predator based on the fact that she's getting pregnant to get finances, not to
Not
build a
only
family.
that, but she's also predatory, considering that her last baby dad she had and her oldest son are only 10 months apart exactly.
But Heathen Queen, before you go, let me throw this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in here. I know a situation where there's I know this mother, she has a child that was 24 years old. She got pregnant by a guy his age. She sent him to the hospital, 3 broken cracked ribs, and he kicked the baby in the head. She started dating a man that was 42 years old. He takes care of her. He takes care of the child. The mother hates his guts because of his age. Not the fact that he treats her right, because of his age. She hates his guts.
That's for HQ.
But she when I talked to her about the younger man that caused her problems, she had nothing to say. So which situation would be better, the man that is 42 or the man that's constantly beating his baby mother's tail? And going back to Mr. Walker's point, what if he do, unfortunately, of his demise, he may leave a pension for that young woman and her child.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
what you got? What you got, Raquel? We'll get her in here. Let her.
I was just gonna say what classy perspective was saying. Drea is clearly using this boy as a meal ticket. She cycled through. Her first baby's father is a nobody. She was leaving her son at home by himself while she was touring with Chris Brown, being his groupie. And then she got with the Dallas Cowboys player, and then she had a baby with him. So she just keeps making broken home after broken home, cycling through men looking for cash payouts. So for her to be dating someone that's 10 months older than her oldest child and having a baby with him, we all know that it's not out of love. It's not out of love. Drea is not having this baby with this man because she's fallen head over heels and she loves him so much. She's having this baby to create wealth for herself. So that is predatory. Not, and I agree with Heathen Queen. I do think that some men, when I was in my premarital counseling class, I met a lady that had been married, like Heathen Queen, to a gentleman for 35 years. He had passed away. He was much older than her. And it was kind of like a Color Purple situation, the way she described it. She was very young. I think she married this man when she was 14. I live in the South in Georgia. And I do think that this man, in some form of way, even though maybe this was the way times were back then, kind of preyed on this young woman because she was young. She could take care of the house for him when she was at work. And I do think that there are some, truths to what Heathen Queen is saying. But for the most part, women have always sought after older gentlemen for the security, not monetarily. I don't think that back in the 50s and 60s it was about living in a $700,000 house. I think it was more about, how are we going to, have a family and sustain a family and be able to feed our family, and, we can work together, we can be stronger. So I think that you can look at it more, you know, you can look at it more honorably, that a younger woman would get with an older gentleman, that would be more honorable than looking at Drea getting with a 24-year-old NFL or NBA player that's super green, that's going to make a lot of mistakes, and her being one of them.
Andrea has admitted this in a video. She's not trying to have a family with a man.
Wow. And
But
I don't follow Drea, but that's right on par with what I
yeah,
think about her.
but go ahead, Jihan. I'm sorry.
I just want to
Oh
touch on.
no, oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I think it's funny how one of the other weeks was having the convo just about the drill thing, and like none of the Tyranny or HQ didn't hold her accountable for her predatory thing on the guy. I was like, y'all just talking about her securing the bag, like, but you're not talking about her being 40 and him being 21. Like, that's just whack.
Agreed. When I was listening to that, I was thinking, I have a 13-year-old son. He's a swimmer. He's somewhat of an athlete. I don't want girls looking at him thinking about securing the bag. I'm fearful of that. I have to let him listen to shows like this that maybe he shouldn't be listening to, so that he can hear other men banter back and forth about how you deal with all these different kind of scandalous women, and it's scandalous. That what Drea is doing is scandalous. If it was their son, I don't think that they would be applauding the situation. I just don't.
And that's what I was saying earlier, was talking about Drea's pattern. If you look at Dre and Michelle and also at Brittany Renner, they have a habit of targeting a certain field of men, which are young athletes, like Jalen Green, PJ Washington. There was some other young dude that Brittany Renner was targeting before PJ, but how you try to do PJ dirty don't make no damn sense. Gonna sit there try to get pregnant, and then some with a country, I forgot what it was. But anyways, it is what it is.
She got pregnant. He got a bigger, after she had a baby, he got a bigger contract.
Yeah,
Then
that's
she
what it
took him
was.
back to court to get more money. So yeah, you like you said, it's a pattern, and it's predatory, and it's wrong. It's wrong when men do it to women, and it's just as wrong as when women do it to men. And if it happens to my son, I'm not gonna dare be on any panel talking about, girl, go get the bag. No, No, you need to do it the right way. And taking from somebody else when you haven't earned anything is not the way to go. It's not honorable. You are
Right.
not fooling these men. These men are getting younger and smarter. So I used to tell everybody, like, oh, these little girls, they're so much more wiser than these little boys out here on the playground. Y'all, go to the playground. Check what these little boys are talking about. These little girls are going to have hell to pay for mothers that give them this kind of mentality to go out into the world with. These little boys aren't playing. If these middle age to older age men aren't playing anymore, imagine what these young boys are going to be like when they get out here. Like, we're going to see more and more proms where it's no couples. You know, that's frightening to me. I don't want to see that, but I also don't want my son to get with a Drea or a Brittany Renner. You know, so if I have to tell him, fuck these hoes, you know, that's what I'm probably going to end up telling him.
This topic is very interesting to me. People just, I don't understand how people have a misunderstanding. From the beginning of time, women have always wanted older men. The primary attraction triggers that for women are what? Protection, provision, leadership,
Talk about it.
maturity, things of that nature. 21-year-olds don't have that. The primary attraction triggers for men has been attractiveness, fertility, and things of that nature, which comes with youth. Men have always wanted younger women, and women have always wanted older men due to the different attraction triggers we have. Women like to put our attraction triggers on. They like to put their attraction triggers on us. It's not the same. Men have always wanted younger women. Fertility, youth, fitness, in coachability. When you're younger, you're more coachable. People try to make that a bad word, but it's not. They try to call it grooming. No, I don't want to struggle and fight with a woman all day. I don't want to get with a woman that's being coached and trained by another man. You get with a woman a certain age, she been taught to do things how Tyrone do it. So I got to get with her, fight against her old age, fight against how Tyrone taught her to be, and then fight all that to get her to be how I want to be. I got to deprogram this woman from a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the apex coochie predator. Rawr.
But see, we're not talking along those lines. We're talking about older men, younger women.
What I'm talking about.
Older women, younger men. We're not talking about whether he trains her. We're not talking about whether she get trained. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an older person dealing with a younger person.
That's my point.
It has nothing to do with whether he can train her or she can train him.
I'm telling you why
it has to do with the fact that you're older, and you're dating somebody who's younger. What do you have in common with that person? First off, you don't have anything in common. 20-year differences is a generation away from the other person.
That's a typical older woman insult.
Hold on.
That's a typical older woman insult. You've been up here for hours. Can I get some else?
If Drea is a predator, then at 40, then the man is also a predator at 40. Everything.
But Heathen Queen, you got to look at the context of what Drea is doing.
Trainer, or whether they wanted to be with a man years ago as older or not. It's still a predatory thing for you to be with somebody that's years younger than you. So then Drea can't be a predator. She is either a predator and he's a predator, or he's a or
it's
they're
the
okay.
context.
It's the context, Heathen Queen.
It's
the
context.
Women always wanted older men.
Then.
Men always wanted older women. I just told you the reasons why, but you weren't listening. It's natural. It's natural for women.
So she's not a predator?
You ain't listening. It's natural for women to want older men. It's not natural for women to want younger men. It's natural for men to want younger women. It's not natural for men to want older women. It's natural for men to want fit women. Please, it's not natural for men to want obese women. That's why it's a fetish. That's why it's chubby chasing.
We get all of that.
No, if
Get
you
all
get
of
all
that.
that, you wouldn't even be debating with none of us.
So the point is, either Drea is a predator or she's not.
She is.
In the
Drea is a
context.
predator. She has a
How
21-year-old
is he a predator
son.
and he's not?
She's
So why do you
extracting.
say the women not only
How
dating?
is he
Dre's
a
a
predator and
Because
he's
predator
not?
to her
one is
damn
natural and
pattern.
one is unnatural.
It's not natural.
It's
Look,
natural
let
for
me
men
say
to
this.
want younger women.
Let me say this.
Drea,
Who's more
Not
fertile?
natural.
Who's more
Let me
fertile,
say this.
HQ? Who's
Let me
more
say
fertile?
this. Let me say this.
That makes no sense.
Lala Anthony, Trina, all of them are dating younger men. I don't have a problem with that. The context of what Drea is doing, she's doing it for extra financial gain. And there is a video on YouTube of her saying she never wants to be married, never want to have a family. She just proved that she is getting pregnant by these men just to get financial gain. And she went after somebody younger because of the older NBA players knows her resume. Jalen Green don't. Although the NBA players are stupid because they don't use condoms, Brittany Renner said that. But the older people that knows the resume of Brittany Renner, not Brittany Renner, Drea Michelle, they should have been telling this young man, yeah, she's fine, but you may not want to get too close to her because she's
Now
after you for the
he's
financial
naive.
gain.
So he's naive, but she's.
We're
so
talking.
he's
Well, hold
naive,
up.
but she's not.
Yes, HQ. Sorry, let
The
me say
boy
that
is
correctly.
naive, but
Well,
not
let
the girl.
me tell you why. This gentleman came into the league at the tender age of 18.
The boy is not naive. The boy is naive, but the girl who gets with the 40-year-old man is not naive.
HQ. The man came into the league out of high school. He did not go to college. He didn't grow.
Right,
He knew this was a younger gentleman that doesn't have. You're introducing all this money and all this limelight to an 18-year-old. He doesn't know how to navigate this stuff, and she knows how to. She got her first baby daddy
And
is
the
a
man knows
7-foot
how to
bottom.
navigate the world, and the 18-year-old girl don't know how to navigate the world.
But we're
Same
talking
thing.
about Drea's situation.
Listen,
We're
And
talking
I'm
about
saying
that.
they're both in the
No. Don't move the goalpost. Let's stay right here on Drea.
I'm saying they're both on the same playing field. How is one not a predator and the other one is not?
Because that woman wanted that man's leadership. She wanted his mentorship. She wanted that older man for leadership and mentorship.
It works.
She wanted him for positive things. It is how it works.
That's not how it works.
Are you an older man? I am. And
That's
I got
not
out
how
the
it
army and
works.
I went to college. I had to constantly tell these girls I was married. When I went to college, I was 36, 37. Girls 21 through 20 something throwing themselves at me. I'm fucking 45 now. I can still go out anytime I want.
Predator.
In a younger girl, no, because women see they see the maturity, they see the things you have, they see how you talk, they see how you carry yourself. They want that.
Well, HQ, if you want to go on legal standards, no, it wouldn't be predator.
Not how that works.
If you're talking about legal in the United States, what's legal, it wouldn't be predator because some states, a girl at 16 can be an adult. Louisiana, Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The age of
Or is it
18
Georgia or is it? I know Louisiana and Alabama. I think is Georgia 16 or 18. What's
Louisiana
the age
16 too.
There it is.
Georgia is
Now,
17.
however, I'm not condoning anybody to date that young. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you were going by the legal age.
Exactly.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Walker. What you got?
I want to answer Heathen Queen's question since she gone now and I can. She said, what's the difference? How is Drea predatory and an older male is not? Someone like Drea, again, context for show. Drea is coming in. She's a predator because she's coming in to simply extract. She ain't coming in to give that man or build anything with him. She's looking to extract resources, nothing less, nothing more. An older man's coming in to build and provide and protect. It's a huge freaking difference. And don't say, oh, Drea giving them Kudakata. That ish is completely out. You know, I ain't gonna get into that. He could do better. He is naive, he's goofy, he's uneducated. He made a stupid decision that's gonna haunt him a mighty long time. That's the fact that we acknowledge that as men. But Drea still is a predator. She know the game. She's a wolf.
That is an open pink parachute that won't close.
She's such a predator. If you cut her blood's probably lime green, and she can get camouflage in the jungle. She's that kind of predator. She found underscore. Get to the chopper. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on.
That part. And we started off the show talking about her and Tyrod Taylor. She's living in his house and he trying to evict her. And she, he taking her to court. He like, you pregnant by another man living in my house. You got to go.
Do you notice how wicked that is? Like Andrea probably passed around that cat for negotiation reasons. I couldn't imagine.
But why
You
would that guy move her in the house if she has this reputation?
He a
You
simp.
know,
He's
He
a
was
simp.
flipping on the coochie too.
obviously,
Then
but listen, she's living in the house, but she feels like she can live in the house because she's done $300,000 worth of renovations to his property.
I give
So
her.
if
Allegedly.
you
Allegedly.
don't want her in there and she's such a scallywag, why did she have the opportunity to be there in the first place?
Well, that's a lot of the reasons why we're up here raising this awareness. We telling y'all a lot of these men are simps just
They're
because you see them
stupid.
on Sunday catching touchdowns and shooting 3-point shots. That don't
Right.
mean they the alpha apex male. A lot of these guys been coddled their whole life.
And
So
yeah,
it's a whole different
let's
deal.
not act like Drea's not fine as hell.
Oh
No,
my,
she.
Drea is a
she's
very fine
beautiful.
woman, and that's why these dudes
Yeah.
fall
yeah, she
for her.
is a
These
fine
dudes are
woman.
simps.
No, she's not. Plastic surgery don't count.
But what I'm trying to
Body
tell
fix
y'all,
I
the
mean, she's
Brit.
still pretty.
But what I'm
qualified.
trying to tell y'all gotta understand there is a certain club of women that can move around these men because these men are stupid. The Bernice Burgos, the Brittany Renners, there's a certain club. They have a resume of being around all these men. That's why they keep getting in. They stupid because Brittany Renner was right. These guys do not wear condoms. I've been to NBA parties. These dudes are stupid. Zion Williams, but go ahead.
Athletes ain't known for their intellect, most of them anyway. So let's be clear.
Hell no.
They get a lot of CTE. They get a lot of help and assistance through college. Let's not play. They get a lot of help and assistance through high school. They're not known to be. Not saying all of them are morons, but and also they don't come from money. And when you don't come from money, you're a fool with your money. They loose with their money. A lot of these guys come from poverty. They're the first rich person in their family, the first well-off person. They ain't never touched nothing like that. So
Right.
that's
That's
why they
that.
wild with it and loose with it.
That's why you'll never see a LeBron James type. I'm sure Magic and all of them told him, you ain't doing none of this stuff. You the face of the NBA. You gonna keep yourself in line.